But anyway, back to you then.
Yeah.
So you land in France after 8 days after Shotgun in the Jungle.
Yeah.
And you said you went for runs and stuff for like a week or something to get your system clean and get everything checked out. And now, how do you join the French Foreign Legion?
Man, I was running up to the Sacré-Cœur and the Sacré-Cœur. And I just looked up at the gargoyles, man, and I said a prayer, bro. I was like, look out for me, man. We're doing this. And I just kind of in that state where I was smoking cigarettes, standing on the corner in this Parisian. I had no money left. I was staying in a hostel, like sharing a bunk with this rugby player who was there, and I just was still sipping on vodka the night before I went in just to take the edge off, bro, because I was hurting emotionally. And I didn't even know what I had built up such habit. This is what I was just like, oh, you kind of just do that, you know? And I just floating, rudderless, but I knew where I was heading finally. At least I had a direction, but I was still like, fuck, man, I fucked my life up. That feeling. Yeah. I was still like, damn, dude, I'm just burning in here. But I sent a nice letter to my mom and dad. I said, hey, I organized my administrative affairs and like financial stuff and all that. And I said, okay, here, I'm going in. And I said, man, I'm afraid to make it. I'm afraid to get kicked out, you know, not get taken. But I'm also afraid to make it. Like what my life's going to look like either direction.
What about your criminal record with them? Were you thinking about that being a problem?
Well, I didn't know, right? But I know they take credit. It was kind of built for the French Foreign Legion's kind of built for that. They taken that's what they're kind of taking guys with checkered backgrounds and all that stuff. That was what kind of their bread and butter was, their reputation. For a lot of years, you know, they used to take murderers and criminals and guys, and so that was like their thing. Nice. And well, that was the aura of them, you know. And still now, to get into it, I mean, dude, guys, you get faces blasted with tattoos. Dudes getting checked in, right, for coming out of gulags from fucking some dark hole in Russia. Hardcore motherfuckers, dude. So, but I didn't know what I was walking into because I had read some books. I had done some research. Man, there's like a hardcore reputation of hazing. Dudes dying in Djibouti, getting buried up to the fucking sand and dying. Nice. So I had some fear just in the unknown, but I had painted myself in a proverbial corner. I'm like, this is all I got. This is the epic story. I've never heard of a Navy SEAL being a Legionnaire. Let's rock and roll.
Oh, you said you were saying a prayer at one point. Are you were you a religious guy?
I'm not religious, but I have a very solid connection with the higher power, with God, if you want to call it, man. I always felt like there's this guiding force. I always felt like there's this guiding force, this orchestrating force, and I know it when I'm on a line path, and I know I stack karmic debt and get reprimanded heavily when I'm off of it. So I just started, and everybody's got that authentic voice, right? Call it whatever you want, universal, whatever. You know a good decision when you make it. You don't have to negotiate a beautiful decision. That's what I always say. You know, getting up, working out, thinking right, acting right, shit's right. Then you know when you need to, maybe I'll just fucking do this weird shit. It's like, everybody knows.
100%. But it's also crazy how like you, and I can relate this to my own life. I'm sure people listening can relate this to theirs. Like you can get away from that voice. Yeah. And it's not because it's not there. It's because you just consciously ignore it. Yeah. And then suddenly, it's like, you want to call it the universe, you want to call it your gut. I say it's a combination of both. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing, motherfucker? Yeah. And you're like, damn it, you were saying that the whole time. I still did all this shit. But now let's get it right.
You really start tapping into a different energy and the universe starts working for you when you listen to that voice. 100%. That's what changed my life, when you go full tilt on just doing the right shit. So that voice was telling me to go fucking bang on this door.
Bang on the door.
So there's only one way to do this shit. It's some Old Testament shit, bro. You go with your one bag, and your fucking passport, and you go knock on a big ass iron gate, dude, like fucking Wizard of Oz.
Can we pull up the French Foreign Legion? This is the one in Paris?
Yeah. Fort Nogent. Fort Nogent Gate.
Fort Nogent Gate. Let's see what this looks like. So you just go up with your shit.
Yeah, bro.
You got the drugs out of your system now.
Yeah, and I got just civilian clothes, and you just go knock on it, and a guy with a green beret, Legionnaire with a gun, will open the fucking door like, Wizard of Oz, bro. Like, what are you doing here? And you go, Je suis ici pour la Légion. Fucking boom.
And that's it.
And they take your passport, and they tell you to get up on the fucking pull-up bar.
They take your passport.
And I didn't see that passport again for 3 years.
Wait. So they...
all right, yeah, we'll get into it
back.
So...
How do you spell the gate?
Oh, yeah, how do you spell the gate?
Fort, N-O-G-E-N-T.
N-O-G-E-N-T?
Yeah.
All right, I want to see this real quick before we go. I want to visualize
So it's an old medieval... You'll see an old medieval castle. And dude, it's just in like this residential area. It's on the eastern outskirts of Paris. There it is.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it, bro.
On the money, Murph.
Legion Étrangère.
All right, let's click one of them to make it bigger. Maybe the second one right there. Yeah.
That's it. Fort Nogent, Legion Étrangère, Foreign Legion.
So wait, it's like it's an actual, so there's grass up top.
And that's a big-ass bunker. It's a big-ass military. It's a military base.
Is there a roof out there, or is it?
It's a center courtyard. It's like an old castle.
Yeah,
So that separates. It's a small little like guardhouse. Then there's a huge courtyard in the middle, and then in the back is all the barracks rooms.
Understood. Okay, so you knock on this, je le play,
Je suis ici pour la Légion.
Okay.
And I Googled it right before I went there. So I have my DD-214. They were going to know I was a SEAL, right? I was going to let them know who I was a SEAL. And
do you have the teeth?
Not yet.
Okay.
So I knock on the gate. Okay, he takes my passport and it tells me to sit down. And the process, then you start your process. And so this process is interesting because there's no application. You're coming in from fucking all over the world, guys from all over the earth. They need to figure out who the fuck you are. Right, that's the known evil's better than the unknown evil, right? They don't. So you go in, they give you an IQ test. First, it's pull-up bar. So that was the first fucking thing. And I came in on a Sunday night, Hunter's full moon, it's 2019 October. Sunday night, it was raining, and I like making my shit poetic as fuck.
You're good at that.
I like to make my shit powerful. So I go in, get up on the pull-up bar, and I fucking cranked him out. He goes, "Get down, all right, descend." And he had a Russian accent. He a Ukrainian dude. A lot of Eastern Bloc guys.
In the Legion.
Yeah, a lot. So when Ukraine kicked off, shit was interesting for us. So then the IQ test, preliminary IQ test, very basic, fucking math and 5 questions, and then it was wait. So now you're in this waiting game with guys from all over the world in this small ass barracks room, probably 20, 30 guys in this one room, then 20, 30 guys in another room. And that was it. And so we start. The next morning, I'm up, getting my the whistle's going off, and I'm rolling my sheet back up, and that was the moment where I went, fuck, dude, I'm like back in this shark shit on the bottom of the ocean, former Navy SEAL doing halos, and now I'm fucking rolling my sheets back up.
You're at a 0.
34 years old.
Oh, my God.
34, bro. So
how old's the average person coming in there?
So they take anybody 17 and a half to 39 and a half.
But like so who usually comes in?
30s.
Okay.
But they have you have the whole spread, really. You really have the whole fucking spread,
Meaning you're not the only 34-year-old there, though.
No, there was guys older than me, too.
Yeah.
So, I was fucking done with the bullshit, right? The fuck games. But you got to do what you got to do. So I'm rolling up my sheet, doing my fucking thing. There's, in that room specifically, 2 South Africans, 1 Mongolian, 1 guy from Thailand, 2 from Ukraine, 1 from Belarus, 1 from Lithuania, 1 from Chad, Ghana, and Nepal.
Just how many of them spoke English?
Probably like, the South African and the Nepali guy and then the Lithuanian. That was it.
Oh my God.
So it's an interesting room to be in, and that's how the Foreign Legion is. 150 nations represented in the Foreign Legion.
Wow.
There's only 2 countries you can't join from. It's North Korea and Cuba, I think, still.
Can we actually pull up just the basic Wikipedia page of the French Foreign Legion? I'm just so fascinated.
It's very interesting.
By this.
It's fucking unique as shit.
The history, though, and what it's based off of is so cool to me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, let's pull that up.
And so it's a real geopolitical petri dish.
Hit Wikipedia. Yep. Love it. All right, French Foreign Legion. Let's just read this to people. French Foreign Legion is an elite corps of the French Army that consists of several specialties: infantry, cavalry, engineers, and airborne troops. It was created in 1831 to allow foreign nationals into the French Army. It formed, so that's right after Napoleon, I think, right? Yeah. It formed part of the Armée d'Afrique, the French Army's units associated with France's colonial project in North Africa until the end of the Algerian War in 1962. Legionnaires are highly trained soldiers, and the Legion is unique in that it is open to foreign recruits willing to serve in the French Armed Forces. The Legion is known today as a unit whose training focuses on traditional military skills and on its strong esprit de corps, as its men come from different countries with different cultures. Consequently, training is often described as not only physically challenging, but also very stressful psychologically. Legionnaires may apply for French citizenship after 3 years of service or immediately after being wounded during a battle for France under a provision known as Français per Saint Laverse. How many? 9,000 soldiers is the size. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you're in there in this room
spread all over the world too. So they're in Africa. A lot of people don't know 26 countries in Africa speak French. French are strong in Africa, right? And so they're deployed in like 5-6 countries in Africa now. Tahiti, New Caledonia, South America. They got them all over, man. South America, and which I was doing jungle ops with them down there, and
we'll get there.
Yeah, and so that was they're all over, bro. And now they're in Ukraine.
Wow.
They're in Romania, and so I was in Estonia with them.
The bases, do they have other soldiers there too that aren't just legionnaires?
Some are French Army.
Okay,
so
you'll mix
in with French Army. But the real bases are all in southern France. You got on the island of Corsica, where Napoleon's from, actually.
That's beautiful.
So island of Corsica, and
Nice?
that's and not Nice, but along Montpellier, and in South France, where I was at, was actually in the Mountain Regiment. So it's a little bit more north.
Very cool. So
Marseille.
you're in this room with all these guys from all these different countries. You're starting at day one.
Yeah,
and so your bed.
And so here was kind of my thing. I saw a lot of young guys that didn't know what the fuck they were getting themselves into. There was that. Then there was some of the hard nose, right? Like I was in there with a Lithuanian who I actually still Belarusian who I actually still FaceTime with, who's fighting in Ukraine now.
Whoa.
And he was an officer in the Belarusian Special Force unit. But so why these guys are there are 3 guys, 3 types.
Yeah.
It's important to know who is joining. It's the romantic, who's long lost love and fucking that guy gets crushed fucking quick, and he gets wet out pretty fast. You have the machine of war, machine de guerre, the guys who are fucking in it to fucking get after it, and in their home countries they don't deploy, right? So you have, or their armies pay nothing, right? Like the special force guy I knew who was in Belarus, he was an officer in their top elite unit. He made $900 a month.
Whoa.
Right. So he would just going in regular Legion was already tripling his pay.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
So he was like, fuck. And then the conversion rate, like for the Brazilians and shit, dude, they're making it rain back home. Right. For us, it's not the same. It's like I'm taking a huge pay cut. So they're doing it. There's the financial guy too. And the guy that does it for passport. Right. So that guy's pretty much the same guy.
What about the people who are like running away from trouble in their homeland, kind of like you?
Yeah, I would say that's kind of I guess there's kind of a fourth kind of category, and that's kind of like just resetting, which I kind of say that's kind of the machine of war guy, kind of seeking into but I see that's just trying to hit that hard reset, but I had military experience, and so that I figured that was the best place to go kind of take a big boy time out, as I like to say. And dude, I wanted to get my tattoos fucking finished, and I didn't want to be fucked with, and I couldn't get a regular job, dude, doing it. So I needed time, bro.
Oh, you didn't have all these tats then?
I didn't. No, I had most of my body, a lot of my body, but I needed to finish everything. I'm tatted head to toe, bro. Like gooch,
it's up your head,
ass, everything, bro, up to the balls, bro, all the way.
You're tatted on your ass.
Oh yeah, ass. Into the ass cheek, pretty much, bro. Like everywhere. So I the way you do anything is the way you do everything. I do shit thorough. So it took a lot of time, but I had a vision for my body. I knew I was broken down psychologically, and it was kind of a symptom of how my life was. I knew I wanted this, to build myself back up. Mentally also, like I needed time to think, man. I needed time to study, figure out what the fuck I was doing wrong. It just kept breaking my life to pieces. I was like, what I'm doing is not working. I need to fucking unlearn some shit and learn some new shit.
Yeah.
I had to like separate, man, and fucking get a tactical pause and be like, okay, what? And while doing it, I wanted to do something fucking respectable, right?
Yeah.
And interesting. And so I was like, maybe they'll give me a gun and I can deploy and start kind of while I'm doing this. And that's exactly what I got, man. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be stripped down. And so the process is they do the medical screenings. They're really hard on the teeth. They're really hard on.
What do you mean?
They're like, if you got really fucked up teeth, the French don't want it because they don't want guys coming in, getting their teeth fixed, and then fucking leaving.
Oh.
That was a problem. So they don't want that. They don't want flat feet. If you have weird shaped head or fucking you're underweight or overweight, you're fucking out. So they do hardcore on BMIs. The physical stuff is obviously. Then the psychological evaluations are interesting. The fucking interviews are crazy, bro. They call it the Gestapo interviews. They call them the Gestapo interview. So there's the unit in the front during this process. After you pass pre-selection, they give you a fake name. So I got a fake name. Mine was Trent Clayson from New York City. That you have a fucking new name, new identity.
Why do they do that?
Fucking mandatory, bro. They just take your name, bro.
Trent Clayson.
They take your passport. You get a new name, a new fucking European social security number. Fucking everything, fake identity with a military ID. You can keep that name. Dudes can keep that name and get a French passport on that name if they want.
What?
It's a whole thing, bro.
That is sketchy.
If you wanted to reset your whole life, you can't. You're gonna earn it though. You're gonna need at least 7 years to do that to get nationalized French, or get shot. One of the two.
Or get shot.
Yeah, or get shot. But you can keep that name, man, and then you are a new person.
But you didn't keep Trent Clayson.
I know you got to route additional paperwork to get your passport back after a couple years, and then get your real name back, and they give it all back.
So in the Legion,
but the first 2 years, I was Trent Clayson.
You were called Trent.
Nobody knew my first name. Nobody knows your real name.
They called you Trent.
They call me Trent.
That's nuts.
Clayson. Yeah, I have fucking your name tabs, all your IDs, everything.
Did you get that tattooed on your body?
I have a French passport picture with Trent Clayson from New York City. Guess what? Because here's just by chance, I took this as a sign. They take your birthday, and then your new birth date is your birthday plus a month and a day.
Oh.
Mine happened to be New York City, September 11th.
Oh my!
Because I was born on August 10th, and so I looked at it and I was like, "These fuckers fucking with me." But then I realized it was just part of this computer system. I took it as a sign, man. But it was that. Then I got pre-selected, so now I'm pre-selected.
What do you mean?
So you go through pre-selection, then they send you down to the headquarter regiment down in Marseille, just out in Oban, where they go in depth, harder on your IQ, on your physical, and then on the background. But now, and that's called selection.
Gestapo?
And that's Gestapo.
Okay.
And so that's a whole new process. And after that, you're going to get a contract and then get to attempt boot camp selection.
Right.
So that during the process of when they're going through selection and when they're like, who are you? Why the fuck is a Navy SEAL here?
Yeah, they probably. How often did they get a Navy SEAL? Never?
They've maybe gotten one. Nobody's ever made it or done it. So
you're the only one.
Yeah. So wow. I'm the only one ever. So they go, they don't want guys who are wanted for war crimes. They don't want problems with the United States government. There's like that whole piece. So they're trying to maneuver that.
And you got a hell of a color.
Yeah. And then I have like they were less worried about the criminal shit. That was like, whatever. They're like, oh, you hit a guy in a bar, who fucking cares? Right? They're like, fuck it. But so they pulled it all up and they were asking me about it. But I said, look, man, they said, why are you here? I said, I ruined my fucking life. I need a second chance. And they said, all right. That's checks out. So I fucking told them what the deal was. I got kicked out and I fucking fucked up and I need help.
Take me to this room. What is this Gestapo?
So this is a special unit these are all high-ranking, high-caliber individuals. They all speak like 5 languages. They're all highly intelligent.
All members of the Legion.
All foreign legionnaires from every country, and you can imagine. And guys who had ranked up quick, right? They're relatively young for how high their rank is. So they're sharp. And it's in a secured building. They have the records from every Legionnaire from Legionnaire 1. It's crazy, bro, downstairs. It's the fucking files from the 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. Wild. And one of the first Legionnaires was actually from the United States. From Colorado. Some fucking dude took a boat over there. Yeah, bro. Wow. Yeah, so kind of some cool shit that an old corporal, an old like senior enlisted guy showed me when I was there. Cleaning, sweeping, doing whatever. So it's a secure building with bars, and they bring it. For me, it's usually the interviews are like 4 hours. For mine, it was fucking 4 days, 8 hours. Dude, they fucking grilled me.
How long? Like 12 hours?
Screaming at me, bro. 8. So screaming at me, 6 to 8. What the fuck are you doing here, man? You're full of shit. They did it on Thursday, Friday. Then I waited the weekend. Then they came back to me, and then the last day, they're like, all right, look, we're going to offer you a contract. But this is going to be hard for you because you're going to be getting told by some fucking corporal who has never done shit. He's going to be telling you how to fucking shoot.
Yeah.
You're going to have to bite your tongue here hard, and they're going to treat you like fucking shit. Yeah. Because you're going to get a lot of extra love.
You're at the bottom.
Yeah. And you're going to get extra love just to fucking who you are, and if they find out, right? Because I wasn't telling people.
What kinds of 4 days and 8 hours? So basically 5 days of
your family. Why'd you get arrested? What's this we found that you didn't tell us about? What's all that shit?
But there's so much filler time in there where they got to be asking you like.
Well, they would leave the room and fucking let me sit in there for a fucking hour and a half and come back and pull up pictures, and they have the whole teams working up. So they pull up pictures. I have no fucking idea where they got them from.
So they're finding all kinds
they were digging hard.
Intel thing.
Yeah, they have a whole intel department going up, looking up stuff, and so that was the whole thing. They're like, you said you've never done drugs. This is hilarious. Actually.
Oh, you told them that?
Of course I did. You got to tell, because if you sell you drugs, it's a problem. But I have no drug convictions. I have drug charges, but they went, which is what I told the United States military too. I told them I hadn't done any drugs ever.
Charged.
And they're like, you have 4 drug charges. I go, wrong place, wrong time. 4 times.
You're like brushing the Adderall
You know, they can't prove anything. So I said the same thing to them. They go, well, what's this? Dead serious, bro. There's a picture. I don't know what, it wasn't posted. I didn't have social media or nothing. They pulled a picture up of me in a room with like bags of weed from the marijuana days.
Never seen that picture in my life.
They go, who's this? And they go, is that you? I go, never seen that guy. No. They're like,
I did not have sex with that woman.
just stone face. They're like, okay, whatever, dude. They're like, I'm like, never touched the stuff, never smoked it.
Oh my God.
So it was just fucking those times. So there was those moments, but they were like, look, man, you're gonna have to eat some humble pie here. And I had to they shoved that whole humble pie down my throat because I'm going to selection. It felt so good though, bro, because it's actually pretty epic how you sign the contract and shit. They bring you down to the museum. You're in your fucking, you're marching. It's early in fucking the morning. The lights are silhouetting onto your shadows up on the wall. And then you're in there with every Legionnaire that's ever died in this fucking museum on a plaque, dude. It's like 30,000 fucking guys or maybe more. And you're just like, whoa, bro. There's just the officers, right? So I'm going. And then you sign your contract, bro, and you're off to boot camp. And that was boot camp. Nothing crazy, but it's a little bit more rustic. They send you to a place called out on the Spanish Pyrenees or the French Pyrenees on the Spanish border.
What's it called?
It's it's technically 4e Ré, which is their 4th regiment.
Let's try it.
Yeah, so you can say the Farm. It's called the Farm.
The Farm French Legion.
Yeah, the Farm French Legion. They'll show you, and it's fucking. We froze our nuts off, bro. I've fucking been cold before,
But did you think this was going to be easy?
No, I didn't think it was going to be easy. No, I didn't. I didn't know what I was walking into. It was a different kind of pain though, because it wasn't like you couldn't escape it. There wasn't like going back to your room later. There wasn't like you knew it was going to be over. I knew this was going to last forever, for like years, man.
Interesting. We're just pulling up the images here. So
they got to leave one of my YouTubes up there.
Which one should we click?
Any of those, bro.
That top one, is that like outside?
Yeah, it's like that. Like that's what it kind of looks like. You're out at the farm. It's tough to see there because it's literally just a farm out in the fucking. That's them graduating with their white keppies.
Where's the farmhouse you stay in? Is it up on the hill?
Well, there's 4 of them. That's probably one down there. It's just like a regular farmhouse, bro. But you're sleeping on cots, and we were there in the winter, so I was like dealing with that emotional, psychological piece of like, fucking, where am I? Well, I'm like, I lost my life, man. I'm here doing shoot and move drills with dudes who've never been in the military before in French. I'm fucking learning a FAMAS, FAMAS is fine, but I got a weapon in my hand again. I felt fucking good. I'm like, I don't care what I'm doing as long as I'm doing this piece.
How many guys are there with you?
50.
50 guys.
50. And so we had guys from Kent. Dude, some of the stories, bro, get this story. I'll give you an example of fucking just amazing individuals making their way to the Legion, dude. This kid from Kenya, and I don't know if people know, but trying to get a passport or a visa coming out of an African country is fucking almost impossible.
That doesn't surprise me.
So he's trying to get in the Foreign Legion. How do you get into the Foreign Legion? Well, you need a visa. We don't need it. We just fly in and fucking go, right? You just need a passport. They need a visa. They need to get their passport or whatever. So he goes, well, they're not going to give him a visa. The only way he can get a visa is if he became super high ranking marathon runner. So he trained for 2 years to get into a race. He trained for 2 years to get in the race. He became one of the better runners in Kenya, or at least good enough to where he could get a visa and go change. He goes, finds the race that's in Europe and in France, gets to that race, gets there, lands, doesn't go to the race, and just goes to the Foreign
Legion. To the Legion.
Just to give you an example. I heard a guy walked from Romania, walked from fucking Romania to France. No passport. Like no passport. He didn't have a passport. So they fucking shows up at the Foreign Legion gates, no passport, and they're like, what the fuck you doing here without a passport? He goes, hey, I walked from fucking Romania.
What did he do? Like walk through the Alps or some shit?
Dude, he just walked and probably hitchhiked and fucking did whatever he had to do.
Oh my God.
And so they go, the guy's smart enough to make it through. Fucking they let him in.
Made it through a border.
They made it
through
in.
the Legionnaires.
So you have you have a handful of Mongolians. I'll give you the kind of the rundown.
Oh, you had Mongolians.
Handful of Mongolians they're solid dudes. Handful of Mongolians. A couple Thai guys. A lot of Nepalese. A lot of Brazilians. A lot of fucking handful of guys from Africa. You have like 1 or 2 French guys, and they have to kind of give away, and their new identity is Canadian. Just to give you an example of like because you can't be French really and join and keep your French citizenship.
So they fake it.
So they don't fake it. The Legion fakes it for them.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's the piece that is that, and a lot of Ukrainians, a lot of Romanians. That's the flow. Some Moldovians, some fucking. So it really opened up my scope.
Why is that, you think?
Economic opportunity. Economic opportunity, and they want the passport, right? So when Ukraine kicked off, we had like 10% of the Legion fucking left. You know, it was like a whole thing. Yeah. So it was a whole thing. A lot of the boys are still there. So it was boot camp, running a fuck ton. I mean, the Legion runs, they're renowned for running, and I was getting my fucking dick smashed in, bro, because they're yelling at me, oh, fucking Navy SEAL. They would find out, and they'd be like, bro, I was so beat up and just getting yelled at for miles and miles and miles and miles in these fucking thing in the cold. And I'm like, fuck it, dude, whatever. I earned it. I'm like, I earned it, bro. I just knew I was in the right place. I was getting all the extra love, all the toilets that need cleaning, I had to clean, all the shit, dude. They're like, hey, tell the Navy SEAL come clean this fucking toilet, bro. And that's what I did, bro, for years.
They probably like silently respected the fuck out of it, though, that you just did this shit. You volunteered to do this whole thing. You're in there literally cleaning the toilets and saying, all right, whatever. Like that there has to be like, you know, they're giving you shit because of who you are, but at the same time, they're like, damn, this motherfucker's a Navy SEAL. He's here doing this. Like, respect.
Yeah, and they knew, okay, they're running, but then once I pulled out a gun, bro, and was shooting down, they were like, God damn, bro. Like, you can't fake thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of rounds being thrown down, right? So, like, they knew when I could shoot, dude, and I could run and communicate, like, I can get down on the tactical movements. It was, I said this, it was a baptism in humility, bro. It was the fucking baptism in humility. It took me years to kind of build back up my fucking just flow to really just shed some of that old identity, shed some of that old ego, get clear. But I was get through selection, make it through all the bullshit, learn French, all this stuff. I picked the Mountain Regiment because I was kind of directed to, there's 2 commando units. There's a Group Commando Parachutiste, Parachute Commando Group, and Group Commando Mountain Commando Group.
How long was the boot camp, by the way?
4 months.
4 months.
So 4 months, and I was directed to GCM. I was like, okay, GCM, fucking, let's try this. Try out for the commando unit. You got to be invited. So it was going to take a couple of years.
Do you have any contact with the outside world during this?
So
like family,
you're
anything?
cut. They take your cell phone. They take your fucking SIM cards, all your shit. So you have to fully reset when you get there. They'll give you your phone back when you finish, and your bag's back and stuff, but you have to get a new SIM card and stuff. So after the 4 months, you get your phone back, and you can start kind of coming back too. It was the Mountain Regiment was fucking isolated. It's the most isolated regiment, but it was also the most deployed. So that's why I picked it, and that's why I was directed there. The ambiance is a little better. The atmosphere, command climate's a little more chill. So that's why that Legion leadership, when I was actually in the headquarter regiment, they said, hey, this is where you probably should pick. So that's where I went, man. And I'm thinking, Mountain Regiment, dude, okay, well, mountains, okay. I had thought maybe I wanted to go to the jungle and pick the jungle shit, but I was like, it wasn't even possible. It was closed. I was like, fuck, I'm probably not going to get to go to the jungle. Sure enough, we get there, fucking 11 months. I'm just checked in. I'm a new guy, and they go, hey, your combat company is going to fucking jungle deployment.
To South America.
To South America.
Where in South America?
French Guiana Francais. A lot of people don't know. France is territory in South America.
They do?
Yep, bro.
Guyane Francais?
Guyane Francais. It's right next to Suriname. Suriname is the Dutch. Suriname is owned by like Holland.
So, yeah, Suriname front. Let's help Murph here.
So look up French. Guyane. Guiana.
South America. All right, hit maps.
I probably even spelled that wrong, but you'll see it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's.
So it's just next to Brazil and Suriname. See, there it is.
All right. Let's zoom out on that. How big is that?
It's like one of the small ones, but it's not teeny.
Yeah, that looks like a nice chunk of land.
Dude, that's all the oil going off there now. How much gold down there is like the fucking Wild West, bro. And I figured out.
No. So wait, this is the still top tip of the Amazon.
They speak French. They speak they use the euro.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. I didn't know that either before going down there.
So this is the Amazon jungle, though.
Bro, we were fucking out there, bro. It is Amazon jungle, bro.
I was just down there with my buddy Paul Rosalie.
That's why I was amazed to hear that when you were down there. It is, people who don't know it, man, the Amazon jungle is no joke.
It's no joke.
It is real deal, Holyfield. And
now, what was the mission to go there?
Interdiction of illegal gold mining and drugs, presence patrols, and also some protection of the legal gold mining activities down there. So
there's a French government there?
French government is there. It's France, bro. Wow. It's fucking France. It's the furthest part away from Europe. It's Europe, bro. Like technically.
In 2024, these things, it blows my mind.
People don't even know.
Exists.
And so there's a lot of American money going down there now because they just discovered oil off the coast. So it's billions of dollars flooding down.
Oil there.
Yeah, billions are starting to flood down there now. I'll get some of my Washington contacts are hitting me up about it. So they're like, hey, we got tons of this going on. I go,
we need some intel.
So they're building bridges, they're building a lot of infrastructure.
Wow.
It was interesting because we went down there and COVID was kicking off. COVID was kicking off. Funny, I never fucking saw a mask down there not one time. And everybody was fine. It's a trip, dude. So we would, even though COVID, what the fuck? It's the last thing you're worried about, bro.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we flew into the capital, Cayenne,
okay.
and flew into the capital. Then took a little with our combat company, like 80 Legionnaires. And why we got sent down there, because technically our guys are demolition specialists. Technically it's like it's an engineering thing, but we're mountain specialty, but do know how to do demolition. So we're going to blow the fuck out all these gold mines, man. And so we went down there and linked up with the Marine unit down there. Is a Troisième Rima, 3rd Rima. It's like the 3rd Marine Regiment down there. And we took a bus to a smaller base, and then took that from that smaller base, took an 8-hour fucking little boat ride into the jungle doing on an outpost. And
I know what that's like.
So you know how it is, pushing the things and all the, going over the rocks and all the bullshit. And that was where we stayed, man, for months so we would chill there, and kind of watch the traffic of the boats, 24-hour security all the time, handful of dudes, one section. So we had 12 or 13 guys, 13 Legionnaires, and then we do mini ops, 2 days, some 14-day jungle patrols, sleeping in the jungle, sleeping in hammocks.
Now we're like with tents,
humping water. No, just hammocks.
Just hammocks.
Humping hammocks.
That's savage.
Yeah, humping hammocks.
No
Dude,
mosquito
I got
nets?
some crazy pictures. We would do the, you'd have to. You put some. The hammock is enclosed with the mosquito netting attached to it.
Okay, all right, so you have that.
But I mean, we're just drinking out of river water with chlorine tablets. Because you can't carry enough water.
Yeah.
So we're just 14-day job. I was packing cans of tuna, bro, so I didn't lose those gains, bro. I was carrying so much extra. They're like, this American motherfucker. They're like, dude, did you hump protein powder in here? I did, dude. Fucking straight up. I don't give a fuck, bro. I was humping protein powder, and they would give me the extra left. So I was humping a chainsaw. I'm humping a fama. I'm humping a,
You're humping a chainsaw.
Yeah, dude. So because we had to bring chainsaws. All this other
give
shit.
You machetes, baptism of fire, the Amazon. Come on now.
Everyone's got a machete, but dude, when we're taking over these gold mines, we're cutting down logs. Also, there's shit that's blocking shit. We had to bring demolition, had to bring sledgehammers, all that shit. So we're humping that shit too.
And people also don't think about this, but like, people think about like forests in America and shit where there's nice little trails to walk on and stuff. Malaka, you are cutting through the jungle,
hacking
in a lot of this shit just to like get 2 feet in front of you, and it is bush, man. It is thick. It is life if you've ever seen it. And then some people carve some trails, but like where you're going, these are ops, man. Like you're trying to take down some dangerous motherfuckers. You're going through dangerous parts of the jungle just to get to them.
Where people don't want you. The French call it l'enfer vert.
L'enfer vert?
Green hell.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the French call it. Because, at night, they would have all the... And so, dude, we were hacking, and we would do 14-day ops and hit a fucking gold mine spot every day. That's how many we'd have.
Murph, can you pull up, type in Amazon gold mine drone shot? I want people to see this.
Understand the capacity.
Because not just even the capacity, but like the destruction.
Just rips it apart. And they're using,
my God.
Bro, Mercury Lakes. They were having me dive in and hey, Navy SEAL, come get the engines out of the Mercury Lake. Dead serious. I was swimming at the bottom of these lakes, bro, dragging up pipes.
Yeah.
Fucking, I glow in the dark now, dude.
Hit that one right there. The fourth one right there. Yeah, I want people to see this real quick. So, oh, that's a video. All right, well, you can kind of see it. It's got the stamp on it, but look at this. Is all supposed to be canopy. This is supposed to be 125, 150 foot canopy, and it's just dredged out. And Paul Rosley, I've had him in here 3 times, well, twice, but the second time was 2 episodes because it was like 6 hours. But episode 124, the first time he was in here, he laid out all the mercury stuff.
It's crazy,
and what it does to the environment around it. It is, I think that was like 27 minutes in or something like that. It was fucking crazy, so people go listen to that. But you were down hunting these guys, and you're going in there to basically like set the bomb so they can't get back in the mine itself.
Well, we'd surprise them, run up on them, and they're fucking scattering. A lot of them have their wives and kids and shit too mixed in. We'd come across whorehouses, karaoke fucking bars and shit they're building into these fucking places. Bro, I'm like, what the fuck is going on out here? Grandmas. And we would come in, they'd run off. All right, but dude, you can't arrest these people. What the fuck? Where are you going to take them? You're going to march with them for 14 days, right?
Are you in uniform?
Yeah. So I'm in jungle uniform, right?
Okay, I was going to say you're not in like the big hat.
No, I'm in jungle. We're in soaking wet too, dude. Like jungle uniform, and they run off. Then we just fucking burn everything, bro. Just like old school fucking scorched earth. We'd come in and just burn all their fucking houses down and shit. Eat all their food, burn all their fucking shit down.
Oh, you like the first part?
No, dude, we just crust their. I'm like, oh, who's got Doritos, bro? They'd hump, but dude, ingenious what they would do. We'd burn everything down and then just fucking put it in a pile, burn it, blow up things we do. Take the sledgehammers, break all their fucking diesel engines up. Hey, Navy SEAL, go in the Mercury Lake and pull out the diesel engines. I'd fucking dive into that shit, dude. Dead serious, pulling it out, fucking tubes, all the shit, break all that shit, and then move on to the next one.
Whoa! How long were you doing this?
3 months. So we did that part for 3 months. We were down there for 4.
I mean, ballpark, how much mileage do you think you guys covered?
So in that 14 days, we did 100 kilometers.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so about 50 in, 50 out-ish, 110.
Now, this whole industry, like a lot of this is funded from China and foreign countries, and then they're wrecking this shit, and then the USA is buying the stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, and now, and it's a circle of life, but also this is a French territory.
Yeah.
Right? Like they actually have diplomatic ties, unlike, unfortunately, some of these other countries that are like left with their dick in their hands. Yeah. But like, this is still happening on their soil. Yeah.
And dude, we went to some legal operations, and how they get the machines in there is incredible. So just to give people an idea of some numbers here, I asked them what they're doing money wise. Like, I'm curious. Well, I want to get down to the brass tacks here. What's the black and red? So this little like 10 guy operation they're running with, they had some larger equipment and stuff like that. And mind you, these guys, they would get the gold and stuff. And then one guy on a fucking motorcycle with a guy in the back with a shotgun with a backpack with the gold, dude, fucking riding out because they're getting shot at and shit, dude. Let's go. They're like, who's pulling the short straw this week to take the gold back? So that was going up. So I was like, hey, what's going on numbers wise? After they got it up and running, that 10 guy operation, just in that week, every week they do like 700,000 euro. Right.
Oh, that'll do.
A week, 10 guy operation, right?
That's
legal.
Pretty good.
Now that's legal. So not bad. Not bad. I don't know what their costs are or whatever, but that's what they're doing, like gross as far as gold is concerned, money wise. I don't know how true is that or what the fucking what it was. That's the number he told me. So
you get any souvenirs?
All right. So man, dude, but we went and blew up one on the islands. There's like a patch of islands. I didn't even know this was internal, but inside there's like this big watered area and there's thousands of little teeny islands. And there's illegal gold mining happening on a lot of these. We went down there and I'm like, this is my first stop down there. We blew the fuck out of this, thousands of kilos of demolition. It was like this whole mountain. And to give you a thing, I had in the sand, just on the sand, dude, I would dig in, just gold in your fucking hand, dude. Just everywhere.
You put some in your pocket?
Well, it was, not enough to like think, but dude, it was like, oh, this shit's just like laying on the ground.
Yeah.
Right, it was so I go, oh, now I know why France is fucking sending us down here. It was a good experience, very powerful. but even the Foreign Legion down there, bro, you're still in the Foreign Legion. Strict as shit. They would have us marching in the fucking jungle if we fucked up. You're still singing and doing all the bullshit.
Oh, you're singing.
Oh, the super. If you don't, they're very strict. The Foreign Legion's like the Marines times whatever, as far as like, and I understand they got to put guys down under the thumb. You got all these guys, checkered backgrounds coming in, and they got to fucking. If you walk across the grass wrong in the Foreign Legion, they're gonna put you in jail. The Foreign Legion has their own little jail on every regiment.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are you speaking French pretty good at this point?
Everything's in French. So all like military orders, it's everything. If they hear you speaking English, it's a fucking problem, right?
So you're pretty fluent now.
At
this point.
Well,
no,
my accent's
at that point.
Yeah, my accent's dog shit. But yeah, I could always flow. My French is still not great, still not good, but I can understand it and I can speak it and I can get by. I do whatever I got to do. So yeah, that we did that and came back, and then we're back kind of in the flow training.
Where were you when you came back?
I was back in Paris, back in South France, and then immediately we got kind of tuned up. Then the next mission was, they call them missions down there, was a 2-month internal anti-terrorism domestic mission in France. And I didn't know that they used the Legion and some French units to patrol internal of France for anti-terrorism purposes, presence patrols.
Now, how does that work?
So I was on Nice, bro, on the beach in the Riviera with the fucking spot. HK.
Good spot.
And not bad, bro, not bad. You know, chicks were like, hey, what's going on? It was because they had some people die there, you know, in 2016 with the terrorism attack, and the French love it. They're like, hey, you're just walking on the beach. Hey, imagine that here. It'd be weird. They're just walking, patrolling, like, hey, merci.
You got your uniform on?
Oh, yeah. Full beret, everything, very formal. And that's called Vigiparat. Vigiparat missions. What's it called in French?
They probably feel pretty safe when they see you walk.
Yeah, they're like, hey, what's up? Oh, yeah, they're like, hey, what's going on?
Oh, I feel bad for any terrorists.
Yeah, they're like, we got some tough looking guys too, right? You got some tough guys in the Legion, and you know, pro fighters and, you know, MMA fighters and guys, pro boxers from their country, Olympians in some capacity. And so you have some tough guys and you build some interesting bonds. It opens your eyes to that. In America, we're kind of closed off. Geographically, we're isolated. You know, you can learn. I've always been interested in the world, but I didn't have the experience with being around people from different cultures like that. So it opened my eyes to also what people go through, like real poverty, like dudes who are growing up real poor, bro, like true poverty, not like I'm poor, but I have a fucking iPhone. Like for 3 months I ate mice type poor, right? You know what I mean? It's a different type of fucking hardcore, bro, you know, because they got the alcoholic mom and dad and, you know, all this shit, dude. I was raised by dogs, you know. I'm half joking, but dude, it was cool because you're all the fucking same. Didn't matter I was a Navy SEAL. Nobody gave a fuck, to be quite honest, right? It was like, that wasn't anything. You're all on the same level, same rank, same fucking shark shit. You're cleaning the same toilets. That was what was probably the best part for me, because I could just kind of shed everything and focus on the self-development. And that's kind of when I started that. I built the confidence back up, and I started really my morning process in that piece of like really paying attention to the diet again in the jungle, actually. Started like intermittent fasting in the jungle and tracking my macros and shit there. And that's when I really started to really hone this back in and realized that when I came back from that and I was in that Foreign Legion barracks room, I was like, dude, I'm still not happy. That was the piece. And I was like, fuck. And there's nowhere else to go. There's no other unit where I can fix my identity, or there's nothing. I looked, you know, now I'm looking at Ukraine. Maybe I'll go there. And then I realized, dude, I'm just running from myself.
You took the words out of my mouth. It feels like you're constantly.
Yeah, like running. Like, what am I running to, dude? Where does it end? And then I realized, dude, I want to have a life, bro. I want to fucking have a wife and a fucking life and make money and do my thing. And it's like, dude, it's like, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing out here doing this? So that's when I realized I had to start looking internally. So I started to read Stoic philosophy, started diving into Marcus Aurelius, you know, Seneca, Nero, you know, even some crazy guys. I get it. But people got some ancient wisdom. Musashi, right? Any philosopher that had anything to say, I was curious why these guys, and all these same principles, right? Get up, have your discipline, maintain emotional discipline, maintain your morality, all these fucking things. I'm like, dude, I either believe this shit, this universal laws, or I don't. Like, you can't, oh yeah, I believe it, and then like and do weird shit over here. Doesn't work, right? You have to fucking be locked on, closed doors, open doors all the time. And I was like, I just got to fucking commit to that. So then I did. They said, wake up at 5. I was getting up at 3, working out in the bathroom. I was fucking getting my mind right. Not like crazy, but just started disciplining and tightening all these pieces down. As I was doing this, we got prepped for the next deployment, which was to Estonia on the Russian border.
Oh,
with
shit.
NATO.
What year
So
is
with
this?
NATO, this was 2022.
Holy shit.
So 2022, and I have a fucking crazy picture of we're rolling out 86 T-82 tanks, bro. 86 in a row.
Is this before February or after?
After. So
the war's kicked off.
Yeah, this is like we're flexing on the border, right? And so this is what it is, right? We're blowing some shit up along the border training, but I'm with the English, the Estonians, we were with the Dutch there. With 4 guys. So the French contingent with NATO, really. We're kind of giving you the enhanced forward presence battle group.
And you had said we had tabled this, but I forget, what was it, like 10% or something is Ukrainian in the Legion?
Yeah.
So you had said a bunch of these guys left to fight in Ukraine.
Yeah.
How did that
A lot
work?
deserted, a lot just fucking left and they're just to go fight. And the French were like, hey, you can go get your families. And so the French were cool. They let some guys get their families.
And bring them back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So some just left and they fucking have been there since, right?
And they're still fighting.
Yeah.
Do you talk with any of them who are fighting?
Yeah.
What's it like?
Hardcore, dude. Some of their brothers died and fucking, it's hardcore. It's a real deal,
Oh, yeah.
Shelling and it's just a fucked up war because you're just waiting for mortars, from artillery to come in.
Yeah, I had Mark Turner in here who's been going back and forth to Ukraine since it kicked off, and he ended up training battalions for their army and everything. But he's like, it's a Scottish guy, U.S. Marine Scottish guy's like, it's fucking insane out there, man. They're fighting over two blocks, 14 days. And motherfuckers are dying. It's a war that doesn't move.
Yeah.
And basically, like, he's saying that the trench urban warfare that it is makes it this constant stalemate.
Yeah.
But people are dying in the hundreds of thousands because they'll fight over 10 meters for 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's
crazy to me.
Yeah. So I had a couple American buddies, former Marines that are over there that were in the Legion, deserted to go fight. And it's, just is what it is. And so that was a cool experience to actually be there. It was nice to be able to speak English because now everybody's like, hey, man.
Oh, shit.
You mind fucking translating for us? And now please speak. So I'll be out in the forest.
Don't mind if I do.
I'd be out in the forest and some English guy would come across. He'd see the French flag. He's like, I go, hey, dude, it's all good. He's like, what the fuck are you doing out here, bro? I still get hit up by those guys because, my Instagram and YouTube kind of popped. And they're like, bro, you were that American dude in fucking Estonia with us, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fucking cool, man.
But you're on the border while this war's breaking out.
Yeah.
Basically, like you said, flexing.
Yeah, so, the Danish. That's who we were out there. That was the other group. The Danes, bro. Bro, I'm 6 feet tall. I never felt like such a fucking midget. Dude, those motherfuckers.
Oh, they're tall?
Bro, the Danes are just stacked, bro. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Sick too, dude. Cry precision. Their unit had one of the best environments I've ever seen, dude. Their cohesion was unbelievable. Very good leadership. Really pleasure to work with the fucking Danes, bro. So that's why it was cool. A lot of these experiences in the Estonia is beautiful. I didn't know anything about Estonia.
Heard the women there
beautiful women, dude. Beautiful women, great hair, good genes, right? Beautiful country. Interesting. Some of the history there. I didn't realize, dude. They love Germany, like all that whole Germany, I didn't realize because Germany during World War II freed them from the Red Army.
Oh, shit.
I go, it's like that whole different angle. Because, it was the Red Army that was crushing them and Stalin and all that, dude. And then
so they like the Nazis.
Love them. They were all about it, bro. It's a crazy, history. Because I saw, some I'm like, what the hell's going on over here? And they're like, the history of this. And I go, so weird to see that international perspective of
That's nuts.
How things can be different from different angles. I'm like, oh shit, dude.
I mean, that was like being stuck between a shit and a fart. You were fucked either way.
They were crushed, man, because
it
was weird. We'd go running through the forest and we'd see gulags out there, bro, and it was old prisons and running through. Beautiful country, though.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you there?
4 months. So the Foreign Legion, their deployments are usually 4 months-ish. Is kind of how France does it.
Okay. Did you see? You didn't have to take any action.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't anything super hot like that. It was just more tense. The political side out there. But it was weird being, you're on the furthest north Russian border, and so a lot of those guys are Russian descendants, because in those towns, Nassar is like, I think Nassau, I forget exactly what the town's name is. It's there are a lot of Russian heritage.
Absolutely. At this point, like, you've been in this now for 2.5 years, something like that. Like,
yeah, 3 years at that point, 3.5.
Do you ever feel like, because you're fighting for the French army, effectively. Yeah. Is there any sort of like allegiance there that sprouts up? Like, oh, this is my second country.
So I'll get people blasting me, traitor. You know how they fucking. God. I'm like, dude, it's an allied nation. Yeah. It's like, dude, fucking chill out, right? Take a couple plays off, dude. It's it's an allied nation. They're red, white, and blue for a reason, right? Their flag, just like England. Like,
I never thought about that.
So is England, right?
Wow.
Right. There's a reason for that, right? The allied forces, the trifecta, like that. So I never had any issues, right? My allegiance has always been the United States, right? If there was ever fucking a question, I know exactly who I'd fucking, that's just what it is. So I was really grateful for France, man. I was helpful to be there. It was nice to experience. But the Legion's interesting. You don't swear allegiance to the French military. It's the only unit like this. You only swear allegiance to the Legion.
Really?
So the Legion had a really interesting thing in 1962 where the Legion was almost disbanded because they broke down out of Algeria, which is kind of like how the Afghanistan breakdown happened.
Oh, yeah,
and a fucking Legionnaire sniper from the parachute regiment tried to kill the French president. And it was actually like formalized, like it was getting pushed by Legion.
Gaulle?
It might have been.
Yeah, that Algeria
might
thing,
have been the
that history, people got to look into that. That shit's nuts.
Algeria and France and that whole thing, there's some crazy books on it too of guys there in the Legion, and that was hardcore shit. So they took the parachute regiment and banished them to Corsica. They said, we're not going to break it down. They put them on an island. They said, you're not going to be on mainland France anymore. And so it's still like that today. But so the Legion's always had this weird redheaded, that whole stepchild thing but it's getting more and more integrated into the French military. So it's getting a little less pirate, a little less danger. Like they're just because they've had a lot of legal problems and people dying and all that stuff. So now we're coming back out of it, and that now I'm just kind of ranking up, going through the process of I'm about to screen for the Commando group, which I fucking failed, by the way.
Well, you failed?
I failed the run test, which it was just too fast. I couldn't fucking pace past the fucking time, dude. It was way too fast. At altitude, uphill.
Navy SEAL can't run.
Yeah. Well, they all knew. They were like, fuck, dude. I was 37 at the time, right? So I'm 37. I'm pushing the fucking bounds of the human body at this point. 37, and I got, dude, that test is just too fucking fast, dude. It's like 5 miles at altitude in like full military fucking
How long
get
do you
up.
have?
They want it done in like 37 minutes or something like that. 5 miles. I'm moving, right? It's just that would have been pushing it for me even back in the day, right?
Yeah. How much weight is your get up?
Man, it's just normal like boots and pants but full, no ruck yet,
Okay.
But it's just fast at altitude with hills. It's just too fast, and I couldn't pass the time. And they're like, fuck, dude. They invited me to come back, but it just wasn't going to happen. So that's when I go, I'm getting out, right?
Do you have? Were you in long enough to have French citizenship?
No, you can request it after your 5 years, but it usually takes 7. They said 3 there, but it's really not. That's not the case.
Got it.
So now I'm in the point where I'm like, bro, my habits are now. I'm like a fucking machine. I'm fully self-actualized as far as like my habits, my mindset. I'm positive. I don't have bad days anymore, bro. I can't remember last time I had a bad fucking day. Dead serious.
That's awesome.
Dude, I just learned how to self-soothe and just build my self-worth on my own daily habits. And I felt great, man, about getting out, about people were kind of asking me what I was doing, this and that. And I'm going, man. And I had an injury. I said I had never been hurt. I tore my medial calf muscle.
Tore your calf muscle?
In Legion selection.
Ooh.
Never stopped running, bro.
That sounds horrible,
I felt like, bro, something's bad. It's all deformed now. But I fucking was like, dude, man, my leg hurts, bro. And I just kept running, but I was like, I wouldn't stop. So 3 years later, it's still all deformed and shit. I'm like, I should probably get this looked at. just to see if they can connect it back or something. I can run and jump. I don't have like any issues with it, but it hurt while it happened, and now it's deformed a little bit on just the medial muscles, totally gone. So that I took there was no deployment stacked or nothing. I took the time to request to go to the hospital. So I'd never really have been out of the game for an injury, but I got this looked at. So I'm in the hospital. They're like taking a look at it. They're like, what the fuck's going on? Why? How are you? What happened? And so they still can't, they never figured out what happened or what the fuck or how to do what to do or what happened. But I'm in there for a while they're trying to figure this out. So I go, I'm going to upload some pictures on Instagram. That's when I started. I got fucking some time. I'm like off the grid. I'm just working out in my fucking hospital room. So I started posting some pictures, started kind of sharing some stories, started kind of doing some things. Just was like, all right, I think I might want to go into this coaching thing, man. Like, I think I could teach people how to do this shit, right? How to like live right. I've fucking learned how to not do shit and how to do some shit right. And I learned how about daily habits. So I started building just a general daily format that I do every day still, right? Simple, right? Just exactly daily habits, what supplements to take, what time to get up, exactly all the same shit.
What are your daily habits?
So I get up every day at like 3:34. That's about where I stop. Doesn't matter what time I go to bed. That's the fucking time. Take some time to self-reflect. Quick, drink some coffee. Take some time to fucking raise the vibration up. I do some Mike Tyson push-ups or whatever. I'll do some visualization, right? It might be no music, might be some. 30 minutes, 34 or 5 minutes. Then I'll roll into my work, whatever, kind of getting ready for the day. But I don't look at my fucking phone immediately.
Smart.
I don't look at my emails. I don't get sucked into the matrix. That's like, wake up deliberately. Wake up with the fucking... not floating, right? Yep. Wake up with a plan, with the fucking system. Yep. I call it psychological and emotional grooming. People fucking brush their teeth and fucking hair and they don't brush their brain.
Yep.
Get clear, bro. Get centered. Where are you at? Where were you? What do you regret from the day before? Fucking don't do that again. And then where are you trying to go? Visualize that shit. Boom. Now move on. We don't need some fucking 2-hour biohacking bullshit. Right? Because guess what? I want it simple. I want it repeatable. All I need is a coffee and a floor, right? To get my shit. I could do it in an Airbnb, hotel room, but it's just something I touch the base on every day. Yeah. Then I'll go into work or whatever and try to work out if I can in the morning, if I have to later, right? But that's usually the general flow. And that's what I started to build there. And I started fucking feeling better, man. I started getting clear and my inner peace was coming back and I was feeling, fuck, dude. Well, because I'd always done it, and I thought back, man, when have I ever been most happy? Well, it's been when I've been locked on, waking up early, doing shit.
Is this when you're still in the Legion?
So I'm still in the Legion. Okay. So I started doing this shit every day. I started really hardcore in Estonia. I was waking up, getting fucking yelled at. They were threatening to put me in jail because I was getting up early and going to work out because I would be like, kind of like getting up, and they'd be like, French officers were mad that I woke them up or some shit. It didn't fucking matter, dude. I was like, I got to do this shit. I was out in the fucking cold in Estonia, like doing push-ups outside and shit. I had to. And I'm so glad I did because I felt good again. And I felt like I didn't need some external validation to feel good about myself. And that was a win. So I was like, bro, this was a positive. This was a win. So I was like, dude, I'm going to fucking share some of this on fucking YouTube. So I started kind of going up, and then the Legion fucking wasn't happy with that, right? So they came down. When is
this?
This was November.
Oh, 2023.
Dude, I just got out of the Legion in December. I got back to the United States December 17th.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I just got back, bro. So I fucking, I put it out there and I just told my story. I just told my story, man, about drugs. I just sent it. Fentanyl, drugs, getting kicked out of the military, where I was at, what helped me, man, what the path was, right? Taking ownership, just, man, empowerment, man. You can be suicidal, man, and then fucking come out of it, right? Don't throw in the towel, right? If not for you, then for everybody else in your life, right? What kind of damage are you leaving? Don't do that. So that was kind of my message. I was speaking positive about the Legion, never have said a bad fucking word. But they just were like, they were fine with it at first, but then it blew up. Then they were like, oh shit, this thing has 1 million views and fucking.
And they didn't like that.
No, they were like, oh shit, we don't know what he might say. They were fine when it was small.
Right.
But then they were like, well, what if he fucking goes off and says some negative shit?
Yeah.
But I was great recruiting for him, dude. I had Marines coming in, they were like talking to me. I was like, hey man, if you're in a rough spot, it can be very powerful, right? Wow. Positive. So I was actually just reasonable. I'm like, yeah, man, I think it'd be good for you. I'll tell guys that if they ask me.
How'd you leave it?
And so, dude, they were like, I got a lawyer because I was like, dude, they're like, take it all down. We're going to put you in fucking jail on back to back, months and months and months until on food discipline until we fucking kick you out, force you out, if you don't take it down. And I was like, I'm not fucking taking shit down. And they were like, all right. So I was like, well, I'm gonna fucking get a fucking, because I'm all about, I understood the iron was hot. The fucking shit was going, there was no way I'm gonna fucking lose the momentum on this. And I was like prepping my out.
You've known a lot of lawyers too.
So I was like, this is just another thing. So I was, luckily I wasn't there, or they could have wrapped me up there. But they were like playing hardball. I played hardball with them. When I played with the lawyer, and the lawyer goes, dude, you're in like legally really gray area here, which is also another point that people don't think. Man, people are like, oh, you didn't honor your oath. Or I go, bro, this coming from the same people that have divorces. Yeah, I'm like, bro, didn't honor your oath. I'm like, bro, it's a fucking foreign military organization. I'm a foreigner. They're going to put me in jail. But look, man, my loyalty is the United States.
Yeah.
Fucking, I tried to stay. I fought to stay. I said, can I keep these up? I'll fucking do whatever. I was like, I'll clean trucks or whatever. They were like, no, because I was denying an order from the general. So that's fucking, I mean, imagine how that's. Le General. Yeah. Pas content. So I said, oh, the lawyer's like, dude, you got to fucking just leave, man. He's like, you got to just leave because they're going to fucking
So you just walked off the base?
No, I wasn't on the base, thank God, because I was separated because I was still fucking hurt from the fucking calf thing. So they were like, that was my only thing, or I would have been fucked because I had my passport and my shit. Because they went in the next day, I said no, locked up all my shit in my room, fucking ripped everything apart, locked everything up so I couldn't even get my shit if I wanted.
Where were you staying during the calf thing?
So I had a girlfriend at the time. I was staying at her apartment.
In Paris?
In Marseille.
In Marseille.
Yeah, so that's where I was at.
French girlfriend.
Yeah, she's actually, Bulgarian, but she, yeah, so, that was what it
How many countries have you hit over the years? I'm just curious.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so so that was it, bro. I was fighting it, trying to fight it on the up and up, but, like I said, man, dude, even stories of redemption aren't a fucking fairy tales, bro. Like, this is life, bro. Things happen.
You have lived a life.
Man. Yeah, things happen, man, and it's like, dude, sometimes the winds of change are speaking to you, man. I had a higher calling, man. And it was, hey, man, I was getting hundreds of messages going, dude, I was going to kill myself. I saw your video. Fucking thank you. Wow. So I was like, I'm not taking this shit down, bro. Like, I'm not. I was getting, a lot, and I still do. I knew it was the right path, and I kept making them, right? And I haven't missed a day. Every Monday and Thursday, I upload a fucking new one. Stream of consciousness. I haven't missed a day since the day I started.
We'll put the link to your YouTube down in the
because
description.
it's, hey, man, let's take inventory where we're at. Let's identify a new goalpost. Let's fucking start moving.
Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.